it's something new in instruments. You have two screens, and one of them are colored. It's new for Flymaster, and as I've heard, it's very bright. Can you tell us about this?
Display, yes. So first we in fact opt for two displays, and the reason is our inspiration was airplanes in order to separate information, and the idea is to have graphical information on color display on the left and data information on the black and white display on the right. The color display, as you said, it's very good. It is technology which it's called, it's a reflective display, which means that as most sun we have, as most light we have, and better you will see it. So against other technologies, this display it was developed to be well seen under the sunlight. So it's a good technology for outdoor equipments, and was the reason why we choose this display. More than the visibility, it's also very good in terms of power consumption. So it consumes low power, which means that we can keep image on the display without consuming any energy, similar to e-ink. Okay? And it does not have drawbacks as the e-ink has, like temperature limitations and others. So it's a very good display. The only drawback of this display is the price, which is very expensive. But the rest, very good. So.
And as I understand, on the color display we will have maps.
Yes.
And on the monochrome display there will be other information. What information?
So all the information that we currently have on our instruments will be available on this new instrument. So it's compatible with Designer, so you can draw your own screens and you can mix things. So you can also put data on and numbers on the color display. But the idea is to separate. Okay, on the right and on the left, you can choose more than 100 data fields with different kind of data.
So I can put, for example, distance to some point on this display. Also, I can put on this display.
Yes.
I can do anything.
We will not limit. We think that it's better to separate, but if the client wants to mix, no problem. Can do.
Very good. And what about battery? As you said, this new color display is don't use battery much. How many hours will work this?
Okay. So the only thing in this instrument which consumes a little bit more is the processor, which is very, very powerful, and so it consumes a little bit more of energy than the other ones that we have. Anyway, we increased a little bit the battery capacity in order to compensate this consumption, which means that we will keep the same autonomy in this instrument as we have in the others. This should last, depends on several conditions like temperature and so on, but it should last at least 25 to 30 hours. So you can make almost complete competition without charging it. This is our idea, so it's the same as the other.
And I saw on the other side of this instrument this radiator.
Yes.
To cool this new processor.
Yes. So the processor is very powerful, and if you, in some conditions where you demand a lot of processing, it can eat up. It's no problem if you have temperatures, low temperature or average temperatures, but if you are in a country where the temperature go high, we can have some problems. And in order to avoid this, we decide to put this heatsink in order to. We made some tests and it can work correctly up to 40 or more degrees. So no problem in using in real world.
And about using this instrument, no touch screen.
No touch screen. The touch screen removes light from display at least 20 to 30%. Okay. So, and we want a bright display. We want that people can see the display. So, in order to not reduce this, we decide to increase remove the touchscreen and develop a new interface. So now we have a wheel and we have more keys, which will allow the user to easily set up things, move around in the map, make zoom, and so on.
Very easy to switch between these different screens. How friendly is button?
Yes, we really spend a lot of time working and thinking about how the user will interact with the instrument, and I think we found a very good solution, so people will not have any difficulties in setup things. Anyway, the new instrument has Bluetooth, and we will also allow to communication between instruments, which means that, for example, in a competition, you can set up a task in one instrument and send to another instrument. Of course, the instrument has also a GSM model, so we have light tracking, and as in the other instruments, you can receive tasks and so on through the GSM network, which is...
Also, you will have a farm.
Yes, the first we have two versions. We will have two versions for the instrument. The first one does not have F-Larm, the first one to be launched, but we will have a second version with F-Larm and Phanet. Yes.
This will be more expensive.
More expensive, yes.
And what operating system do you use in this instrument?
Our own operating system.
Not Android,
not Android, not. So you know that operating systems sometimes can be a mess. Sometimes they can give problems and you cannot control it. It's not your code. So we decide not having an operating system, and which means that the instrument has some features that, for example, it will turn on very fast.
And how this instrument will be connected to PC? Did we need any additional applications for a computer to see, track, or it will be seen like a flashcard?
No. First, it will be compatible with Designer, so no problem. Secondly, now we also, as you said, we have an SD card inside, but this SD card is can be seen as an external drive. So you can connect it to the PC and copy things to the SD card and copy things to the PC.
And why this design? We expected some piece of glass and metal, but sorry, it looks like a Game Boy little. Why you use this type of design?
Well, it's always a compromise between resistance, which should be resistance, also weight, because a lot of pilots now they are looking for low weight material, so we do not want very heavy instrument, and also cost. So we try to find a mix between all the things, and this was the best compromise.
And the glass, is it resistant for scratches?
Yes, the glass it's PC, but then it has a coating anti-scratch. We also studied the possibility of having a coating anti-reflective, but we decided not to put it because it removes also a little bit of light, and I think this is a better option.
And what weight?
The weight should be around, I'm not sure now, but it's less than 300 grams.
Okay, and last question, what maps did you put inside this?
So, for the maps, we also decide to make something a little bit different from the others. So we think that people now are used to use maps with a lot of information. You have high screen resolution, screens with high resolution in cell phones, and so people use maps with a lot of things. But really, when you are flying, you don't have time to look for details. Okay, you just look for the map, and you have a few seconds before you look in front or to your wing. So our idea is to simplify the maps and make something like the relief will be shown in a grayscale, okay? And then we will use colors only to show information which is very important. For example, we will put the airspaces in color, waypoints in color, power lines in color, so only information which is important for the pilot we will use color to put it. Otherwise, it will be grayscale. Okay, so relief and so on will be in grayscale. In this way, I think if you look for the screen, in a few seconds you can see what is important and not be a very polluted display with a lot of information that you cannot see. Okay? So this is our idea.
Thank you very much. It was very interesting. And